I think the reason I like it is because, well, so here's the thing. Music is the whole point of music. Go ahead.
Can we pause real quick so Ginger can go take a bathroom break?
We are live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Easy Company podcast. Thank you for hanging out. I am AngryPrivateRyan. With me, as always, GingerBeerdGaming and 12 Tango Dom. How you guys doing?
Good, man. I actually got up early. I took a shower, got my coffee ready. I was ready for this one, unlike the last episode.
I was still here first.
I wasn't ready at all. Not even close. I think I was a solid 20 minutes late. At least.
That's what happens when you stay up late on that damn YouTube all night.
I know.
This man gets on and then has the audacity to say, I haven't even made my coffee yet, and then leaves again for another 15 minutes. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think very similar to last episode, Ginger stayed up way too late last night and is feeling it this morning. But
I'm always entertaining, whether I've got 6 hours of sleep or 8. So, you know.
And what a better way to get yourself moving in the morning than recording a podcast, right?
It does get the brain juices flowing, limited as though they may be. Yeah.
It also gives us a good opportunity because he might be a little flat-footed, so we can attack him, a little bit. Yeah. So, well, thanks guys for joining me. We are on episode 4 today. So I figured, we're kind of we've done a few of these, gotten a few under our belt. What's been your guys' favorite part about recording these podcasts? I'm kind of curious. I'll start with Tango. What's been your favorite?
So, as someone who liked to listen to a lot of podcasts before recording this, I've always kind of wanted to try out having a podcast one day. And it's weird because Easy Company, when we first brought the idea, was supposed to just be kind of a stream team thing where we were like, hey, let's get together maybe every other weekend, play some video games together. And then out of nowhere, I think it was Ginger just brought up maybe a podcast or something, and then both Ryan and I were like, whoa, wait a minute, podcast, that's a good idea. So that was just always really exciting, and it's been a freaking blast just coming on here and bullshitting and talking with you guys. It's really nice to be able to do something that I've kind of always wanted to do. I've had in the back of my brain, and now we're actually able to do it just off of one tiny little idea that was just thrown in there as some extra shit that we could do for Easy Company. And it kind of ended up being the main thing of Easy Company. Easy Company is more of a podcast than it is just a regular stream team now, and I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is kind of funny how it was a little idea, and then this is probably the most prominent piece of content that Easy Company has right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of evolved. No, I agree. Kyle, this isn't your first podcast. So
no, I've dabbled before. So yeah, podcasts are fun to do. I mean, when they're fun, they're fun. Yeah, no, I mean,
Truer words never spoken.
You're from GingerBeerdGaming.
Well, I mean, they can be kind of a drag, right? I mean, because they are. It's kind of it's funny because when Tango was talking, I was thinking about our conversation about streaming last week or last episode, and somebody said don't underestimate the amount of work it is, and I think the same is true for podcasts. So if you're not having fun doing it, then I would say you shouldn't be doing it. And we've had a lot of fun with this one. My favorite thing about it is that I think about things in an analytical way, just because of the way I am, I guess. And it's nice to have some sort of outlet to talk about, struggles of streaming or our favorite video games and why they're our favorite video games. So yeah, it's been fun. It gives me an outlet other than ranting to myself in my car
in the shower. Just
in
like
the shower,
winning that argument in the shower, you know, the one you never
That's the
lose.
best feeling. Yeah.
I'm the best debater around.
I'll show that asshole.
That's such a dick sometimes.
It's funny because like,
go ahead.
well, yes, it is kind of a lot of work for the podcast, especially like I guess the editing part of it. But the thing is I really enjoy editing the podcast, like even more so than I enjoy editing video gaming content. And I don't know what it is exactly about it, but I don't know. Like, this has just been really fun. Like, I don't think of this like, oh shit, you know, we got that meeting that for the podcast, or we have to record the podcast tomorrow. It's like I go to bed looking forward to the next day, where I could wake up in the morning like, fuck yeah, podcast day, let's go, baby. You know?
Yeah. And I think for me, kind of similar to Ginger there, you know, I could, if you get me on like a topic that I enjoy, you know, sans, you know, video games, I could talk for a long time, and I really enjoy kind of getting into, you know, discussions for long periods of times about, you know, interesting topics. So it's basically just a way to do that and, you know, kind of give it to the world as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for when we start adding some like guests to the podcast too, because I feel like there's going to be a lot to learn from them. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have people from freaking all over the world, all walks of life, coming on here and telling us about themselves and whatever. But like, it's kind of just a new perspective that I'm going to learn about a lot of stuff while doing this podcast in the future. I'm really excited to, you know, start getting some people on here as well.
Yeah, completely agree. And just a quick shout out to everyone who has, you know, left us comments and feedback on the podcast and whatnot. It's been really good feedback, and keep hitting us with it, because we do try to implement it all the time. And I think we look forward to seeing those comments in the section below. So keep them coming, man.
To our viewers,
cheers. Got some Baileys in that coffee?
No, I don't think that would help at this point.
Well, not with that attitude, it won't.
I think I need the stimulants and not the depressants.
All right. Well, let's jump into it. I would love. I don't know where this topic's going to take us, and I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there. But something that I think we have a lot of experience in, and is obviously a big topic in the gaming industry right now, the Battle Royale mode. So Battle Royale has basically taken over the multiplayer gaming scene, I think, now for quite a while. You could probably debate, and maybe it's not even a debate. It's just that I don't, you know, fully know the facts around, you know, what was truly the first Battle Royale. But I would say probably starting, what do you guys think? Maybe like 5-6 years ago was probably when.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say when
they became
the Battle
popular.
Royales became popular. We're starting to hit the scene big time. And then now it's basically, if you release a new game that has a multiplayer component and it doesn't have a Battle Royale mode, people are basically like brushing it aside. I keep going back to just not too long ago when they announced the new Halo game. And I remember seeing people absolutely roasting it because they didn't announce a Battle Royale mode in it. And I was like, I would never have expected the day where Halo is getting roasted for not having a Battle Royale mode. And they don't even know that there's not one. It was just that they didn't announce one with their you know, launch release trailer. It's like, that's how prominent and how much power this mode has over multiplayer gaming right now.
Well, there's two kinds of multiplayer modes that people really give a shit about nowadays when it comes to just like your typical shooter, and it's either going to be Battle Royale or it's going to be that search and destroy, like CS:GO style, you know, freaking blowing up objective A and B type game mode.
Yep. What's the new one? Valorant? Basically
Valorant, yeah. Also, Rogue Company is pretty popular now as well, kind of similar as well. Mm-hmm. I think it's just because there's like people enjoy that high pressure, high level of skill. Like, you're number one in a battle royale, you have bragging rights. You can go and tell all your friends, like, I finished first place. You guys suck. I'm awesome. That kind of thing. Like, it requires a little bit of luck, sure, and definitely a lot of skill to. I think people enjoy that challenge. Like, we wouldn't be gamers if we didn't enjoy that challenge, right? Like, there's a really hardcore element, especially as games continue to get dumbed down these days and get made easier and easier. That's the one thing that it's like still super challenging to this day is the battle royale mode and those high pressure search and destroy situations as well. You're the last one on your team and you got to go defuse the bomb and there's like 3 people left on the other team and then you somehow clutch that off and it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, woo!
No, I've never done that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do we have guesses? I actually just went and refreshed my memory when PUBG came out.
Yeah.
Like what year? Give me your best guess.
Oh, we're guessing.
Like 15 maybe? Fuck.
So like when it first dropped, like to
earlier?
Like early access?
Yeah.
I would say hang on. So 2012?
No,
Sooner or earlier?
I was in that realm too. It was December 20th, 2017. So it's only been around.
Recent?
That's
like
what
3 years?
Wikipedia says. Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's when I would have been getting into it, but
right. Early access for Windows version launched on March 23rd, 2017. In July.
That can't be true. I joined the Army in 2016, and I was definitely playing before. I haven't touched PUBG after the Army. And I joined in 2016, so I don't think that's true.
Confused.
I think Wikipedia is bullshitting you.
It can't be, right? Because 2017 was when I built my PC.
I built mine I graduated. Yeah. I built mine in.
Well, my point was there that I don't think it's been out. Okay, yeah. Okay, so July 30th, 2016 is what this says.
I was close. I said 2015, right?
That's weird. And then Fortnite was, according to this, was the year, almost exactly a year later, July 21st, 2017. Anyway, so, like, I guess my point there was like it hasn't been out that long. You know, like the actual,
wow, yeah,
battle royale, formal battle royale hasn't really been around.
I think
when was
the game mode?
One?
Yeah, a little bit before that. So I think. Because I remember playing DayZ, right? And everybody was into like that super hardcore high risk type of game mode that DayZ kind of created. Mm-hmm. And then H1Z1 came out as another zombie survival game. But the mode that really took off was, so around 2015. That's probably around the time DayZ Early Access came out too. But I remember H1Z1 was just another fucking like DayZ style zombie game, but it also had this mode called the Battle Royale where the circle got smaller and smaller and the objective was to be the last man standing. And that shit just took off from there.
Yeah.
And then once PUBG came out, forget about it.
Yeah.
But H1Z1 was huge.
You look back at like all of these prominent Battle Royale players now, and pretty much all of them started at H1Z1, I think, is where kind of their first foray into Battle Royale was. And then, PUBG came around and I think we all here played PUBG for a long time and for a lot of hours. I never played Fortnite personally. I played like 1 or 2 games of it. It was not my cup of tea. But it obviously did a lot for the gaming industry, I will say. But that kind of being the first, I would say the biggest battle royale to kind of pop off and become mainstream was definitely it was big for the mode, and now it's kind of this giant, just behemoth of a game mode. And to your point, Tango, I think that's what got me when I first played PUBG. And now, granted, at the time I built this PC was when PUBG was coming up, obviously, and everyone was playing it. All my buddies here were playing it. Kyle had gotten into it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's fun. We should play this." And there was something about that thrill of winning versus however many other people, and those high stress situations. And when you won, I still remember the very first PUBG win.
First chicken dinner.
Yeah, and I think
Mhm.
part of that is helped by I think Ginger has that video saved off, so I can always go back and relive it. But um, it was like 10:30 at night. It was one of those things where you're like, just one more game before we go to bed,
Mhm.
and we got that win. And I don't think I fell asleep for another couple hours. Like I was so hyped and just full of adrenaline, and it was just so crazy. And that was a feeling I hadn't had in gaming in a really long time. And my thought is likely that's the same for a lot of people, and that's why the battle royale is so freaking prominent nowadays.
So let me ask, what was your favorite spot to drop on the regional
Shooting
map?
range.
Shooting range.
Shooting range.
Yeah. I like
What about you?
Pachinki. Pachinki, definitely.
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
a serial killer. Okay.
Yeah, there's two types of players, you know. There's Pachinki droppers and then there's shooting range droppers. So.
Those are the only two.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. See what I love
If
about
you land
shooting
anywhere
ranges,
else,
though,
you
is, like,
doesn't even matter. You don't matter.
like you could drop on shooting range and you could like find all sorts of guns, and you were within driving distance to some decent towns. There was almost always a vehicle over there, and then you had like a big wide open fucking range and those bays to get into fights. We
Yeah.
had some
I
fun
think
fights over there.
I liked it because I just didn't play well fighting in buildings. And so
Yeah.
being able to, it was still kind of a hot drop in a lot of ways. But it was open enough to where you could like kind of get your bearings straight and not get really, discombobulated during your fight.
Yeah.
Did they give you a parachute after the drop?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so
How
either.
did people? What happened? I'm really trying to remember. Could you land on rooftops and shit? You could, but
you could, but you better have had a way down.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that you had to find like a fire escape or something like that. Man,
Yeah,
it's been a
Or
long
other
time.
like free run on some other buildings and stuff. The thing I liked about Pachinki though is if you survived Pachinki, that's like half the map gone right there.
Yeah.
You gotta worry about like half the people left. And you've already got a few kills under your belt. You know, it's kind of like a nice little warm up, basically. Like you might die instantly, but if you made it out, you got yourself a nice little warm up for the rest of the game going. You know, you got the juices flowing, fucking going into the casino and then lighting shit up there, and in those 2 apartment buildings over there. It's a great time.
See, like that's why I'm down with like doing hot drops in Warzone, but I am a lot more confident in my combat abilities in Warzone than I was in PUBG. PUBG was a tough game. At least I found it pretty difficult, and it was just I needed to drop somewhere where I could have some sort of faith in my own abilities to take care of business. But I think I'm curious, you guys. We're talking a lot about that first map, but did you guys play much at all when they started releasing the desert maps? And then I think they went to like a jungle map that was a little bit smaller. I really didn't play much as that. I played a little bit on the desert map, but that was right around when I started kind of falling out of PUBG anyways. So
yeah, I played a lot on the desert map. I played I started falling out when that tiny little jungle map opened up. That's kind of when I stopped playing, and I don't remember why I stopped playing. I think the game became like too mainstream. When PUBG was still kind of underground, I think that's when it was the most fun. Once it became super mainstream, I was kind of just like not having as good of a time. And I don't know if it was like they've always had like the loot drops and stuff, right? But it became all about like the crates and people just buying crates and shit. And it was too gimmicky, I think.
Yeah, it became about the meta. And they also did, which actually I want to come back to, but the other thing that pissed me off about PUBG is like there was all kinds of fucking issues that they had with that game. There were cheaters, there were netcode issues.
I think that's what it was too.
Lag was fucking terrible.
The lag was atrocious.
So they made, what pissed me off, and I think what pissed a lot of people off, is they made all this money on this game because it got mainstream, and they didn't fix their fucking game. They just started adding in like the crates and the
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
And now it's atrocious. Like the last time I opened it up, I was like, oh my God, like they just doubled down on this shit that pissed me off.
They did.
But I actually think that brings me to like a question that I've been asking myself lately. And it's the extent to which multiplayer games like that, when they get old, why do they get old? Because it feels like to me there's always like a breaking point for me when like what Tango said is like it gets mainstream, but I actually don't know that that's what I'm talking about necessarily. It's kind of getting there. And it's kind of the meta too. Like there just gets to be a point where it gets repetitive and boring. And not I don't think, I don't know.
It's not necessarily that it's mainstream. I mean, there's plenty of games that are like Tarkov is becoming more mainstream now too. Warzone's fucking mainstream as hell. That's still fun to play. But so
I kind of found myself getting a little bored with Tarkov because of that. I mean, it's just people, you know, maximizing their loadouts as much as they can, you know.
I never got bored. I just got pissed off and stopped playing.
Yeah,
because I felt like there was nothing I could do. I was like, well, shit, I didn't level up fast enough. Now we're at that point in the patch where I'm not high enough level to even play anymore. Like,
right, you can't be competitive.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I'm at such a disadvantage, and it's not like you play a few days and then you level up. It's like, no, I'll spend fucking like 4 days before I level up once, you know?
Right.
I mean,
I think go ahead.
I was going to say it's absolutely you touched on it there. It's the repetitiveness. I think the issue with battle royales specifically, but this goes to for a lot of games and a lot of multiplayer, you know, games, but battle royale specifically, I think what gets it for me is the repetitiveness. I think you need to have a breath of fresh air put into your game. If you've got a battle royale game like Warzone, I'll use Warzone specifically because it's actually a pretty good time to be having this conversation. But I am bored of Warzone in a lot of ways right now. And it's because nothing's changed. I mean, you're basically playing the same exact game on the same exact map with the same exact guns, with the same exact contracts, with the same. Nothing is different about the game. They've made these really half-assed attempts at trying to change the map, you know, but it really didn't change the way the game flowed. And it's just repetitive. And so you need to have something in a battle royale mode that kind of it changes kind of the way it plays, or it changes the way you think about playing it.
I think that's why Call of Duty is so successful every time they release a new game, because everyone's just bored of the last game already, and they're like, oh, well, I like the game mechanics and I like the way it feels. I just don't want to play this map anymore. So they fucking just buy the new game.
Probably. You know, to be honest, it probably is. And I think that's why I fell out of PUBG. I think PUBG specifically, the issue I had with it was the flow in PUBG was very slow at times, and it felt like you could, if you went down to final circle in PUBG, you were in that match for a good 45 minutes at times, you know. And there were few things more disheartening and frustrating than dropping, looting, getting kitted, getting just everything you could ever want in your backpack, and then bam, dying after 35 minutes, and it was just done.
I'm so used to that feeling by now from all the freaking ridiculous games I play, though.
it was just brutal. And so I think like one thing that Warzone does pretty well, for the most part, is makes the flow pretty quick, and that way you don't. Trust me, there's still times where I get all loaded up and kitted out, and then just smoked and dead and done, and it's like, well, that was fucking dumb. But
see, I actually think I don't know that. Okay, so I'm gonna qualify this. I actually think that Warzone made a whole lot of improvements to the PUBG model. One of them, I mean, just for fun's sake. But it's a different kind of fun. See, because I was gonna say that, like, the thing about Warzone is there's not really one thing that I liked about PUBG, which is kind of the DayZ callback, is that some locations that you drop on don't have shit for loot. Like there are high value, high loot locations. You drop anywhere in Warzone and you go in it, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying this is a game mechanic. Like, you drop anywhere in Warzone, you're gonna, if you open enough doors, you're gonna eventually find a kick-ass gun or enough money to go buy your loadout, right? And that's fine. That makes it fun. To Ryan's point, it makes it flow different. But I think I don't know. There was a point with, I mean, the things that I enjoyed about PUBG were scavenging around for an awesome weapon, or finally finding the and you've got or you find an M4, and then you find an ACOG for it, and like now you're kidded, and you actually have an advantage over some of the other players depending on what they've got. In Warzone, they level everything out, which is fine. That's the style of game, and I think actually you can make the argument that that's more fun because it keeps the action going and the action a little bit more even keeled. But I do think it was like the things that I enjoyed about PUBG were the randomized nature of the fights you would get in, the randomized nature of the loot, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Other than that, I think that Warzone improved on some of those things. Maybe improved is the wrong word. They changed the dynamics of some of those things. I mean, one nice thing about Warzone is if you get killed, you get a second shot immediately, right? Like you go to the gulag. PUBG, if you're dead and your buddies are still playing, you're sitting there watching a spectate screen for 30 minutes, which is, can be fine, but that got a little old,
Well,
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, to your point, I think it's a not necessarily a pro or a con. It's a different way to play, right? I completely agree. What was cool about PUBG was when you found, to your point, when you found like an M4 and then you found a suppressor, like it was like the coolest thing in the world, right? Whereas in Warzone, it's really just a race to get your loadout. And while Warzone, that change in Warzone where it kind of even keeled everything and whatnot, while it makes it flow different, it can make it flow faster, it can keep you in the action. That does also kind of bland it out if you've played it for a long time, right? So to your point, there is different ways to make the game flow and the game dynamic switch. And I'm not saying either one is better than the other, but there is a different way to play, to have each one flow. And I liked both of them for their respective, ways of making the Battle Royale game different.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I think Warzone is just Battle Royale for more casual players. I mean, really, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I had fun with both. I got tired of Warzone quicker.
I saw someone on Twitter mention that Call of Duty's breaking their game up into like Warzone, then the single player campaign. Like, is that a thing? You guys know?
Don't get me started. It's
the new one.
Yeah,
is it the new one?
Here's kind of the way it's going to work is the way I understand it right now, and it's kind of what I was afraid of. So Warzone you can now think of Warzone right now. We've only known Warzone in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare time period, right? So we've always kind of attributed it to it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, it's the Warzone game mode, but that's not how it's going to work anymore. It's going to be Warzone is a standalone game of the Call of Duty franchise. So it is going to be kept going through all of the releases. However, it's going to be treated differently than whatever Call of Duty game is coming out at that time. So obviously right now, Black Ops Cold War is the new Call of Duty that's coming out in like a month. Warzone is going to continue being a thing, but it's not necessarily going to be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Warzone. It's going to be still just Call of Duty Warzone. And so here's my issue. The way I understand it is they are not like the way... If you've ever played Call of Duties throughout the years, you know that the way a Call of Duty feels from year to year is completely different because they use a different developer each year. So they switch between two developers, Treyarch and Infinity Ward. So Infinity Ward made Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Treyarch is making Black Ops Cold War. But Warzone is going to stay kind of the way it is right now from a game engine feel and everything. Well, Black Ops Cold War feels nothing like Modern Warfare did, which is what, Warzone is based on right now. So it's going to be really weird in that you're going to go play multiplayer and single player over in Black Ops Cold War, But if you want to go play Warzone, you're going to go over here and play this other game that is 100% different look and feel. And I just don't know how that's going to work. And I personally am not a fan of it, not because I personally like the way Modern Warfare felt from a movement and gunplay perspective. I really, really enjoyed it. So while a little bit of me is like, oh, cool, we don't have to go to, Warzone doesn't have to go to the new engine. In the end, I think it's a bad thing because I don't like the idea of having your base multiplayer single player game be on a completely different engine than your battle royale mode. And that's kind of my synopsis of it. I could be a little bit wrong on on a few details, but I think that's how it's going to flow. And I don't, like I've been playing the beta. Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are, but I don't like it. I know, like, for instance, I've been playing the multiplayer beta in Cold War, and like I'm like over here smashing my sprint twice to try to do attack sprint, which doesn't exist. Slide cancel is different, so there's just things are different, and the gunplay is different, and I don't know, dude. I'm kind of bummed and a little bit nervous for him, honestly. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, either people are going to keep playing Warzone exclusively, and they're not, because not a lot of people are going to want to do a lot of switching around and playing different modes because the feel is 100% different. So it's just weird. It's a weird dynamic. I don't know.
Tell you one thing, I'll try it out so long as I don't have to go and buy a new hard drive. That's it.
Yo, a big deal that they just did in the last Modern Warfare update is you can pick and choose which parts of the games you want installed. So I uninstalled co-op and campaign, saved 100 gigabytes of hard drive space.
So how much is that? Is freaking ridiculous. But how much is just Warzone? Like how many
Warzone?
How much space does that take?
Warzone and multiplayer installed. I think it's still like another 100 gigs. Hey, 50%, baby. We're down from 200.
I suppose so.
No wonder he can't get Ryan into Arma 3, dude. He doesn't even have the space for it.
The room, yeah.
No, dude, I got 3 hard drives in this bitch. What do you need from
God.
me?
I'm gonna have to add.
I need you to download Arma. Is what I need you to do. Dude, we had a lot of people on the server last night, man.
And shit in the other. And see which one fills up first.
We had a lot of people in the Arma server last night, though. It was a really good time.
All I needed to see was I tuned into Ginger's stream and saw him shooting my face. So, quite honestly, you know what? I'm still a little salty at you guys. We're gonna power through this podcast. We're gonna get through this podcast and look like we're friends. But I got a bone to pick. I mean, we got issues here.
Between that and Among Us, man. I don't know. Friendships are being tested.
There's turmoil in the Easy Company universe. Let me tell you.
Technically, my face got shot too. So
all three, yeah, we all did. We all did. Shot. We were all executed.
Right, damn.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get Black Ops. I would like to play the campaign.
The campaign is supposedly one of the best ones. I've heard that it's going to be one of the best campaigns. But that's $60 for a campaign, and I completely understand why you wouldn't want to do that. I completely get why you wouldn't want to do that. And I know the games you kind of like to play and which Call of Duties you like and don't like, and I can tell you you're not going to like this one, like multiplayer wise. You're just not going to.
Yeah.
So it's tough, and that's why I think actually you're kind of creating an issue by keeping Warzone a separate game. Because Warzone is free to play, which is obviously, I mean, good for them because they can get a lot of players in and whatnot, and then you basically sell them on all the DLC stuff and whatnot. But I think you're going to cannibalize and screw your game sales up, because there are plenty of people who have no interest in playing Black Ops and just want to keep playing Warzone, and that's all they'll do.
You know what I wish? We're getting back to our topic about battle royales. Battle royales are fun. I think they have their place. But god damn it, I want some Conquest, somebody to really do well, some Battlefield style Conquest, sort of casual, not as hardcore as like Squad, but something really good and fun. on a new engine. And don't talk to me about Battlefield 5 because fuck that game and everything that it stands for. But like, you know,
tell us how you really feel.
Something. I mean, that's another one that I loved for the first like 12 hours, and then after that, it was just garbage. Like, you know, just terrible. But like,
I haven't played Battlefield since
that?
Like Battlefield 4, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, why is that not a thing anymore? Is that just not popular? Am I just an old man gamer ranting on a podcast right now?
You're talking about like a Rising Storm style, but like more modern, I guess. More polished, yeah. Because if the engine feels really old when you go back and play it, it feels dated.
It does. And it just doesn't feel like, well, I mean, it's a fun game and all, but you know that you're not playing like a super detailed, well polished game.
Right. But the way the gameplay flows, it doesn't have like this crazy steep learning curve like Squad has, you know what I mean? But it's also not just dumb either. Because it still has the squad leader. The squad leader has their role. They're still a commander, you know what I mean? So like I felt like I was able to pick that game up and learn it a lot easier than I was. I still haven't really picked up and fully grasped Squad yet, you know?
Tell me about
it. Well, that's the thing. It's like you can't have it both ways. Like either you have something sort of kind of casual, like a Rising Storm. I mean, Rising Storm has squad mechanics, you know, like actually you're in a squad, but nobody talks to one another in the squad.
That's the problem. The community is actually garbage.
Right. And then, yeah, it is. And the only thing like making you, I mean, one thing that I will say about Battlefield that I did like was that it encouraged teamwork. It did a good job of encouraging teamwork even among casual players, because you have to spawn on your you spawn on your squad lead, you know, the medics, everybody can revive everybody. Rising Storm, it feels like they kind of made an effort there, but it doesn't really matter because, I mean, when you're on the US side, you can spawn on your squad lead. When you're on the Vietnamese side, you can, you know, you build the squad tunnels. But other than that, there's no real, I mean, and there's the commander role, but the commander role is really just talking to the other squad leads. And sometimes there's somebody playing and sometimes there's not. So I don't know. My point was, I guess, that you can't really have a casual made for most everybody, low barrier to entry game and expect to get the same sort of experiences that you will have in a really well put together squad, the game.
It needs that complexity to really encourage people to take it seriously, and if they want to win.
It filters your community.
Do take it serious. Yeah.
Yeah. It filters your community. It filters the people who play it. But that being said, does that really beg the question of it's really more about finding the community you want to play those games with? Because I bet you, well, I say this, I don't know if I would actually take this bet, but I bet at one time you could find a community amongst the Rising Storm Vietnam player base that did play it the way you were kind of talking about. I guess a little bit. So it almost goes back to kind of the, you know, the olden days of I mean, these have dedicated servers, so maybe that's why it is. But you know, the olden days of like finding that clan that you would be a part of, or you know, team, and that kind of played in the way that you wanted to kind of get out of the game, and maybe a little bit less about how the game's necessarily made.
You know, I feel like content creators have a big part of it too, because if there was, say, like a YouTuber that had a really awesome squad and played Rising Storm Vietnam the way that we're talking about and posted videos about it and looked like they were having a lot of fun, and that video freaking got famous and blew up, people would flock to Rising Storm and play it that way because they see how much fun it can be if you play it the right way.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
I guess I've just felt like in general, those types of games have kind of lost their popularity, or at least they're not as popular as I remember them being. Maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but you know what I mean?
I mean, at one time it was new, right? At one time it was new and really fun, but maybe
that's it.
Now we were just talking about this at the beginning of the podcast. Now, if it's not a battle royale or search and destroy type, then doesn't matter.
So that, on that topic, then I do kind of want to talk about it. I mean, so what we kind of have already touched on it a little, but what are your thoughts around this idea that if a multiplayer game doesn't come out with a battle royale mode, it's just it gets this stamp of disapproval right off the bat before the game even comes out. It's kind of crazy to me.
Honestly,
that's how much influence this has.
It doesn't affect me at all because I don't even play battle royales anymore, really. I play just like any hardcore tactical survival style shooter. So it hasn't really affected those games too much. So for me personally, it doesn't really matter. I used to play a lot of like just deathmatch and shit, you know, back in like Call of Duty 4 when that first originally released. But you know, over time, like more and more complex, harder games came out, like super tactical, fucking realistic shooters, and that's kind of the genre that I ended up falling into and enjoying a lot more. So it doesn't change anything for me.
I mean, I guess I'd be interested if they're adding something new to it, like Warzone. Again, going back to that, I mean, it refreshed the genre a little bit for me. Even though I'm tired of it now. So if they did something new, but people getting mad about Halo not having battle royale, that's never Halo has never been about battle.
It's never been their forte. Yeah,
I mean, it fits nicely into the Call of Duty model.
Halo battle royale would probably piss me off
right now. Yeah, right.
Doesn't like
what would that even be like? Yeah.
Doesn't flow well.
I don't know, but I don't think even the people who are getting their panties in a wad know what it would be like. They just want there to. I think that's what's so crazy to me. And I'm not, I think I'm just thinking out loud really when I say this, but it's just crazy to me that that's the like point we're at in the gaming community, that people are going up in arms over a mode that I don't think they even know what it would encompass. They just feel like it's a necessary part of a game now. It's like
you can't shoot at like range on a battle royale style map with anything other than like the sniper in Halo. You know what I mean? Like even the assault rifle has like that big ass fucking circle in the middle of your screen. Like you're not gonna hit anything with that thing unless you're right up on them.
I think the only thing I'd want to do in a Halo battle royale is just drive a warthog around.
Yeah, drive a warthog, like, maybe freaking have a rocket launcher with you to deal with the other warthogs, and that's it. Like,
then again, maybe I'm not the best person to ask about Halo because I never really enjoyed multiplayer that much.
Me neither. Honestly,
I didn't either. But I felt like it had its place, and the multiplayer in Halo for the people who enjoyed it and played it a lot, it was a big deal. So, like, why are you getting so up in arms over just them not just doing what they did best, right?
Do you remember how hyped Halo 3 was before it came out? You couldn't go anywhere without seeing posters. Every GameStop, the entire front window display was nothing but Halo 3. Like, so fucking hyped, right? I get home after waiting in this long ass line to play the game before you could just download shit on your hard drive.
When you had to go to home,
when you had to actually leave your house and fucking put clothes on like a regular human to play your video games. Yeah. So I'm waiting in this long ass line. I finally get it forked up to $60 or whatever it was. Drive home, put it in my Xbox. Immediately, I get the 3 red fucking lights, the Ring of Death, and got to hear about it from all my friends and fucking going to high school, how awesome Halo was and all the shit that's going on. And I'm sitting there waiting for like a whole month for my Xbox to get fixed and returned to me. It was really sad.
Bro,
that's rough.
Man.
Like, you want to talk about unlucky, man.
Way to bring it down. Here,
you want to talk about unlucky, man. I don't think I will ever be that unlucky again. Hopefully not. God, please don't do me like this.
Pretty brutal, man.
That's a pretty high bar to set.
Do you guys remember when I think it was Halo 3 when it came out, you could buy like the Master Chief edition or something, and you got like a fucking Master Chief helmet, and there were like it was so hyped up. There were kids like wearing that shit in like wearing it to school, like going to school with their little Master Chief helmets and stuff, and I'm like,
the cringe.
I don't think that's the play, brother.
But that game was really overhyped. And then, like, finally, though, after a month of fucking waiting, right? I get my Xbox back, so I put Halo 3 in there. And I didn't even like the game that much. And that really pissed me off. Because, like, everything I just went through, this game was supposed to be the best freaking thing ever. It was supposed to be nothing that tops this game. And I immediately, because, like, everybody was like, oh, yeah, this game, Halo's going to freaking kill Gears of War. Like, because Gears of War was huge at the time, right? I don't know if you guys remember how fucking huge Gears of War was. And after, like, a day of playing it, I went back to playing Gears. I was like, I really didn't enjoy that as much as I wanted to.
See, I think for me it's different. I didn't get hyped up about it. I didn't even get it when it came out. And the only reason I ever had Halo 3, oddly enough, was because I had a friend who really, we usually played games together all the time. He loved it and he really wanted to play he really wanted us to play together on it. He fucking bought me the game just so we could play it together. So I never actually even bought Halo 3 because I didn't want it. It wasn't my style, and I knew it wasn't my style. And he was just like, dude, I really want to play with you. I'm just going to buy you the game. And I'm like, I'm not going to turn down a free game. All right, hit me, bro. Hit me. And that's the only reason I ever had it. So I never got into the hype. So I never, it wasn't a big deal to me.
Yeah, I think I've always, or not always, but the one time I got gifted a game that was like a full freaking $60 game, I actually got Arma 3 gifted to me. And I had way more than my fair share of fun playing that game. Like, I don't know. I can't. Sometimes you'll end up doing that for a friend where you'll buy them a game just because you're like, dude, you got to play this game. They're like, I don't know. And you're just like, fine, I'm going to fork up the money and buy it for you. Arma 3, I was not expecting to receive that one because that was still $60 at the time. I think it's still $60 now. It's still a full price game, but holy crap, that was a good surprise. And
I think Kyle has gifted me a game once before. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't a $60 game, but he gifted me something on Steam one time because he wanted me to play it with him. I can't remember what it was.
Was it that Viscera cleanup detail?
What?
It might have been. No, but no, it wasn't that, because it was a while back. It was like back kind of in the first couple of years of the PCs. I don't remember what it was. It may have been.
I don't know either.
But I think he did that.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I think I gifted Payday.
Cleanup, or what's it called? Viscera cleanup.
Viscera cleanup detail. Yeah.
Nope.
Detail. Yeah. Oh my god.
I remember buying the 4-pack of Payday though.
It was. I was so skeptical about this game, and Ginger kept being like, dude, it looks weird, but it is fun. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I think it was like, it was super cheap one day, and I was like, fuck it, I'll grab it. And we did. We played it for like 5 hours that evening. We're just dicking around. It is I don't know how they came up with the concept of this game and like who put this on.
So what is it?
So Kyle will do it.
You basically like imagine like after the movie Alien, the Ridley Scott film.
Yeah.
Imagine what that spaceship would have looked like after. Well, I guess it got blown up. Spoiler alert. But anyway, like if it didn't get blown up with all the Marines that got just eviscerated by the alien, right? What it would have looked like. And then imagine there's a cleaning crew that they send in to go clean up all that stuff. You play the cleaning crew, right? So you just basically like there's been some sort of disaster, a sci-fi disaster, and you're the space janitor, and you have to clean up like the bullet casings and fill bullet holes and like mop the floors and stack things.
It
and like
sounds vaguely familiar now that you mention it.
Yeah, and pick up the body parts and incinerate them. It's just stupid physics, silly fun.
It also really kind of oddly enough tickles a little bit of my OCD itch too, because you get to like like because you got to go in, you're like, ooh, wait, hold up, there's one little like bloody footprint over here, I gotta clean that up. Like, oh boy,
if only it was that fun to clean up shit in real life.
No, I know, right? But it's a fun one.
I decided to make tea instead of coffee this morning because it was going to be harder to clean the shit that it's required to make coffee for me. Like that's.
I will never support tea in place of coffee on that. I just can't do it.
Yeah, tea is like for afternoon when you want something hot.
Yeah.
And
okay, this got wildly off topic. I'm gonna have to reel this one back in.
How did we get the tea?
I don't know, but how did we get? Never mind. We're done. I think what are we doing? How are we on time there, Tango? We got time.
We're at
time?
49 minutes.
Oh, we got time here then.
Yeah.
Let's I would love to kind of delve into, we're going to take it back from, well, maybe not entirely from video games, but we're content creators. I think we all became streamers because we've, delved into content creation on our own. What kind of content do you guys enjoy diving into when you're not streaming? I think one of the reasons Ginger was up so late last night was he was on a YouTube rabbit hole a little bit. What kind of, when you guys are not streaming and not, working on your streams, what kind of content are you guys, taking part in?
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos actually. So it really depends on the game that I'm playing at the time. So lately I've been watching a lot of Arma 3, Zeus style videos or Zeus tutorials on YouTube. And even tuning into some random Arma streams lately, just because that's just what I'm into right now. And then when I stop playing Arma and I start playing another game, I'm going to do the same thing for that game. I don't even watch Netflix and stuff or any of that shit anymore. I basically only occupying my free time when I'm not streaming and I'm not working by watching whatever about the video game that I'm just into at that time.
Yeah. I've been doing a similar thing with the Arma stuff, except I've watched some tutorials and stuff, but I've been getting back into, do you guys ever watch Soviet Womble?
I've watched one of his videos.
Yeah, I have.
For fuck's sake.
I watched one of his Antistasi videos when we were doing that mod.
His random he does random blank game that he's playing bullshittery videos. So he's got random Anastasi bullshittery, random Arma bullshittery. The way he edits those videos, something about I love his videos. His streams are pretty good too, but his YouTube videos are fantastic, and I've been getting back into those since we've been on an Arma kick. The other guy that I really like to watch that's super funny is Nano on YouTube. I don't think Nano streams, but he does funny. He does a lot of tactical shooters. I mean, the funny thing about I think I don't remember where I watched this on YouTube, but somebody said in a video that I was watching, the thing that makes Arma so good is that you're in this super tactical, military style sandbox, and for whatever reason, that makes the ridiculous and the funny shit that happens all the more funny because it's kind of out of place.
It's not, because it's not supposed to be there. Yeah,
right. It's not supposed to be there, and so it makes it all the more fun. And Soviet Womble and Nano, I think, really capture that in games like Squad and Arma and all these other. It's hilarious that their commentary and so those are what I've been into lately.
Yeah.
As far as Twitch goes, I've mostly just been watching my buds. I haven't really. I mean, there's a couple people that I've been watching a little bit of Deadly's streams lately. Deadly Slob.
Me too. I typically watch the bigger streamers in the mornings or on lunch because none of the other people that I follow are really. None of the other guys are usually online around those times. They're usually on in the evenings because most people have day jobs and stuff. So, but I kind of go back and forth watching the big streamers because sometimes I'll watch Summit and stuff, but only if they're playing games that I'm into at the time. You know what I mean? He's been getting back into GTA, for example. I don't care about GTA right now, so I'd rather watch one of you guys or whatever because you guys are playing games that I enjoy. And also there's a networking thing too there, right? You want to show support for your buds and for the other guys that are around the same level as you too. So
yeah, I ended up when I stopped playing Warzone last night, I ended up I still had a little bit of bourbon left, so I hopped on into Ewok's stream last night.
Yeah,
and just kind of sat and hung out in his chat for a little while. And I do watch some bigger streamers, but kind of the same thing as you, Dom, where in the mornings I'll watch some of the bigger dudes because there's usually no one else on.
Yep.
But then, if I'm not streaming or I'm not, like deep into a game or something, I'll usually watch some smaller dudes. If you guys are streaming, obviously I'd watch you guys and stuff like that, because part of the Twitch world is being able to get into the chat and be a part of the community, right? Which it's hard to do virtually impossible, honestly, in the bigger streamers, communities, because there's just so much going on. But
yeah,
I do like going into smaller streams. I personally, I enjoy watching a lot of flight simulator streams and YouTube videos. So there's a couple guys that I like to watch.
I'm surprised you don't play more flight sims since you're so into them.
I do off stream, but
just not good streaming games, or.
Well, I'm not even sure how well my computer would handle it on stream. For one, two, this is a little bit of a sore subject, so you kind of pissed me off now. The hardware that I have, my flight control hardware, like the yoke and pedals and throttle, are not working right now. And so when I play flight sim right now, I have to use a controller, and it's just not the same at all. So I'm a little pissed. And thanks to COVID, it's fucking impossible to get a flight yoke and stuff right now, because it's just all sold out. It's basically like when webcams went literally up to like $700 to get a webcam.
Oh, dude, a lot of streaming equipment was really hard to find. Like, I couldn't find like a good set of key lights for like just lighting my freaking room. Even to find like one of those Elgato green screens, the ones that like collapse and you could just fucking bring them up and you could put them down when you're not streaming. Couldn't find those anywhere. Like, I think like so many people were like, they had all this extra time and they were like, I'm just gonna start streaming because I got nothing else to do. And
or they had to hop on Zoom calls for work.
I was gonna say, or they were working from home and needed webcams or microphones or things like that for their work. But it's
you don't fucking need this for your conference, Karen. Okay, leave
now
your
with
shit
that
to
attitude, you don't. Bro, maybe you want to sound crystal clear so you can get that promotion.
Just use your fucking Apple headphones. Don't worry about it.
So I started doing. I quit my job in March. Pandemic hit. I had most of my streaming stuff, but I kind of went hardcore with like the mic boom and the actual, putting everything together and my headset and everything. Anyway, I started having interviews in like April and May.
Like, wow, you sound very professional.
And everybody would, pop onto the Zoom. It was all Zoom call interviews, and everybody pop onto the Zoom call with their like, little pixelated, laptop or whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, hello, please hire me, with all my shit. And like people would ask, they would be like, so do you do like audio
nerd alert
podcasts or what do you do? And I'm like, yeah, I dabble in things. I'm a hobbyist.
I dabble in things.
But it
I really want you to hire me, so I don't want to give you the name of my stream or podcast.
Exactly.
I'm being deliberately vague on what I do.
Yeah. But it's so funny, like to pop into like, Zoom.
I get a lot of comments now we use Microsoft Teams a lot, and I've been working from home quite a bit. I get a lot of comments on my chair on my meetings, because so I've got Microsoft Teams. Thankfully, you can blur out your background, so I don't have to hear the comments about like my Led Zeppelin flag and everything that's going on around here.
Play a lot of golf there.
Yeah. You want to go golfing sometime? No, I don't.
No,
I don't want to go golfing with you.
I want to sit here and play video games.
Yeah.
Not hang out with you at all.
The one thing that doesn't get blurred out in that is my chair. And so like I was on a meeting yesterday with some of our legal team and stuff, and they were like, well, looks like Ryan's got a hell of a chair going on over here. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So like, then I have to kind of like
pull that out of your race car there, Ryan.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, bro. Yeah, I got a race car bed. I got a race car chair. Get out of here, bro.
Sometimes I lay under the covers and just go, vroom.
Oh, man.
I totally get it. Like this work from home thing, and then being kind of a electronics streaming, nerd, I guess you could call it, it definitely meshing the two together has been a kind of a pain in the ass. But there's another tangent, guys. This is a tangent-filled episode. We are all over the place.
So I'm all about it.
People want.
I was gonna talk a little bit. I was going into what I was trying to say was what what kind of content I dabble in, and so flight simulator stuff. Again, I can't be on the lookout, because once I do get some good equipment, I'll be doing that. But another thing, I'm just an aviation geek kind of in general, so I do actually watch a lot of YouTube videos around. There's several guys who film, they fly for a living, and they set up cameras in their cockpit for their flights and stuff. So I watch a lot of them. People like Citation Max, Premier One Driver. They do a lot of fun videos. I like to watch a lot of informational YouTube videos. So like there's this one channel called Smarter Every Day. It's like this super freaking smart guy who's got his PhD in physics, who basically gets invited to go do a bunch of really cool shit, and he talks about the science behind it. So he got to go, right now he's doing a whole series. He got invited onto a nuclear submarine up in the Arctic, and is basically just doing a bunch of videos about what goes on the submarine, and all the physics around everything are there. He got to go fly with the Thunderbirds, and he talked about the physics of G-forces and things like that, and why when they were doing a loop-de-loop, he passed out. So I enjoy a lot of that. What video game content I do like to follow. I watch a lot of videos around. I follow every once in a while some of the Call of Duty Pro League stuff. So they do a lot of cool videos with the pros and whatnot, and just kind of all over the place. It really kind of depends on the mood I'm in.
I just had an idea, Tango.
Oh,
I think I figured out.
Why just Tango?
Because this is me and him talking right now. So I figured out Arma 3, the intro, or the entry point Ryan can have to Arma 3. We can be running missions.
Ryan can be our pilot.
Exactly. Yes. You see where I'm going with this? He's got his yoke, and he's flying the A-10, and he goes Bert.
Yo,
Ryan, give me that thing that goes Bert.
Yeah. And then you can
they got that as an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
we did it. We did it, Ginger. We got him into it.
Don't matter if Ginger's got 5 hours of sleep or 10. Got the good ideas.
Yeah, man. Ryan's our close air support. There you go.
It took you an hour to get to that idea. Let's just say.
I mean, my coffee has got to metabolize a little bit. Come on.
That is. I will say I tuned into. I think I briefly glanced over at Tango's stream at one point last night, and he was flying around in a Blackhawk. I don't know if he was piloting or if something else was piloting, but he was in a Blackhawk helicopter, and it did look kind of freaking cool. They're
actually really, really difficult to learn how to fly too. Well, actually, not to learn how to fly, learning how to land. They're really difficult to learn how to land.
Yeah, I think that's pretty realistic. Helicopter. Yeah, I mean helicopters.
I've never actually flown a helicopter, but I would imagine it'd be a lot like flying an Arma.
I imagine Dom, for your real world life, you've probably been in a Blackhawk, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
So we built this giant trench and bunker complex on post over here, and we actually were taken in a Blackhawk to get a bird's eye view of what our work looked like, and it was pretty cool.
That's freaking awesome. Blackhawks, I love the Blackhawk helicopter. I think it just looks cool.
If you go to my Twitch channel, you can see the picture of me on the airfield with my sunglasses. Yeah, that Blackhawk behind me, that was the one that I was walking away from. That's the one that we were just flying in.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
It's a badass picture. Very, very, very good looking picture, I must say.
Thanks. My buddy happened to have his really high speed. He's into photography and stuff. So he had his high speed camera for the trip to take pictures of the trench and stuff, and snagged that one. I was like, hey, that's going on the Twitch.
Well, I'll have to be on the lookout then, maybe a little bit with Arma if there's some piloting opportunities.
There's people that jump into servers and that's all they do. They're just they're helicopter transport dudes, or they're just freaking warthog operators. Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool when we played Squad last week. How they've integrated kind of the helicopters into it. That was neat. Getting picked up and getting dropped off, and there's guys in that who literally that's their job is to just fly their helicopters around and either provide transport or kind of overwatch.
I'm not brave enough to learn how to fly in squad.
No, because I would get
it's fucking difficult, dude. I got into the training the other day and like just fucked around with it a little bit. I'm not the best pilot anyway in most games, but it was crazy. You know, there's a game. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take on another brief little tangent.
We're already on one. Let's go.
I know, but like going back to like what I was talking about, like the games that I want to see them do. There's this game I've been watching, and actually going back to the content stuff. So Soviet Womble plays with a whole bunch of different guys, and I actually have been, now that I'm thinking of it, following a lot of them. One of them is a guy named Digby, who's this like he's this nerdy British historical enthusiast, and he plays a lot of fringe games. And he plays this game called Foxhole, which is a top-down World War II game, kind of RTS style, except you're controlling little dudes, and literally you're fighting a war with like battle lines. I don't know how big the map is, but it's fucking huge. And he literally just runs logistics trucks. Like he's building fortifications, he's resupplying, you know, forward operating bases and doing all this stuff. And I every time I look at that, I'm like, man, I don't know that I like the top down style.
Well, there's people that do that in squad too, though.
Yeah, I mean, that like I want something like massively. There used to be a game, I think people still play it, called World War II Online, which was a first person shooter MMO style with
Sounds
like
familiar.
actual like moving battle lines and a huge map. And I always wanted to get into that, and I never did. And now it hasn't aged super well as far as the graphics go. But those are the kind of things I want to play. Like that's what I love about Arma, is that it's like that
you can create that. Like you can create whole missions just based around that for sure.
Right.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do in the last Battlefield was be the guy who basically just stuck around at the points and built up all the reinforcements, like with your little hammer.
Was fun as hell.
I loved building up all the barbed wire and like the sandbags and stuff, and creating like these defensible points instead of just open in the middle of nowhere. I would say, I mean, and you got a lot of points for it too, so you got recognized. But like, it was fun to just sit there and be kind of that logistics person that built up all these defenses. I love that kind of crap.
It is fun to have those specific roles. Even when we were all playing squad and we were the tank crews, like that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then when Kyle and I were driving around in the smaller SUV gunner thing, there were, I think twice we ran into the commander, and he was like, "Hey, I need to go over here. Can you guys take me?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, hop in. Your Uber's arrived." And like, he was like, "Thanks guys, appreciate it." I felt like I had purpose, you know. I did a lot better. I did a lot better doing that than I did on a fire team. Those
are the characteristics of an effective army leader, is that you have to provide purpose, direction, and motivation. And that guy gave you all three right then and there.
Doctrine.
That man is a leader. If I've ever seen one, that man is a leader.
He's a leader. Give me a ride. Yes, sir. I love this game.
I'm so glad I'm here. Glad to be here, sir. Oh, that is pure gold. I also, I don't know if you guys do this at all, but I watch a lot of I'm big into music and stuff. Love music, love everything about it. I watch a lot of music videos and like videos about bands that I enjoy, like behind the scenes videos, and a lot of things. I like watching videos from concerts, especially right now because I can't go to fucking concerts. So like I end up watching a lot of videos of, you know, old concerts and stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I was there. I don't know if you guys do any of that. Another thing I watch that I know Tango does not enjoy is I actually watch a decent amount of reaction videos to like music and stuff. So there's a few guys that I really enjoy watching. You know, I don't know. So I know Tango. I know you don't like reaction videos.
Not that I hate them. I just feel like there's not a lot of credit that's due for the people that make them. Like, you're taking someone else's content and then you're reacting to it and calling it your content. Like, the real person that deserves your credit for those videos is the person who made the original content, right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate them. I understand why they're fun to watch or whatever, but it's just like, it's not really your content.
I think the reason I like it is because, well, so here's the thing. Music is the whole point of go ahead.
Can we pause real quick so Ginger can go take a bathroom break?
This fucking guy.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've been sitting here like, okay, I think I can make it through 15, and we're about to go on like another tangent, and then no, I can't. So,
well, since you're gonna edit, how much time do we have if you're gonna edit this part out anyway?
We're at 1 hour and 10 minutes now.
Okay, so we gotta wrap it up quick anyway. So yeah, go ahead and pee. We're gonna edit this.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
This.
I'm the
Oh, look who it is! Wow.
I apologize.
I'm
just not. I have not been bringing my best.
We need your A game out of you. We need your
better.
A game.
Sorry.
All right. So
reaction videos.
I was just going in. So here's my thought on reaction videos. Music was made to garner a reaction. I mean, that's why music is made, right? It creates emotions. It creates whether it be emotional reactions or whatnot. But music is made to be reacted to, in my opinion. So I think one of the reasons I enjoy watching reaction videos from just certain people, there are plenty of reaction content creators who I think are just, I'm like, your reactions aren't even funny or good, or like you're just kind of bad at everything. But
like the ones on Facebook specifically come to mind when you say that.
Ooh, I don't like that. No, but so there's like 2 or 3 people that I watch reactions from. And I think it's the reason I enjoy it is because so I had a reaction when I first heard a song, right? And it's almost like you're experiencing like you're going back through it with someone else, the content creator. It's almost like back in the day when you would like have a song that you really liked and you had to like show your friends. You're like, dude, take this side of my ear pods, or and I'm gonna show you. I gotta show you the song, right? Like, and then you like have that like reaction, and I think that's why I enjoy it. And the way I kind of view it is that's why music is there, is to have a reaction. And so I think as long as the individual artist that's creating the original content is being more than, credited for, I don't know. I mean, I get the viewpoint on it and whatnot. I totally do, but it's just something I enjoy personally.
How gross is it that people share headphones, by the way? Like the little ear pods, dude, when someone like fucking gives it to you and it's got like the dried out fucking earwax, like brown.
I haven't done that in years.
Dude, I know.
That very reason. Because
I know.
No.
We all used to do it,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we were dumb and silly, and that was before.
That was when you were trapped in a prison with a whole bunch of other adolescents that couldn't even hit the fucking urinal, though.
Well, now you can't even stand within 6 feet of someone.
I know.
It was pre-COVID. It was pre-COVID. That's basically all you got.
Nobody gave a fuck, Here's my earwax. I can take a sip of my drink.
In the early 2000s.
All right,
Savages.
guys. Well, I think we're pretty close to a time. Any other closing arguments from anyone? Any other things you wanted to say before we get out of here?
Ryan, fly planes for us in Arma 3.
Okay, there's a single closing argument. Anyone from the other side?
Nope.
Okay.
It's the deck is stacked against you, buddy.
I mean, it has been my whole life, baby.
Bring it on.
Let's
I'm
go.
used to this.
All right, guys. Well, I think I had a good time. This was definitely a tangent-filled one. So, I think we kind of purposely went into this one with just a few high-level topics for that reason. So, everyone, let us know what your thoughts were on the episode. As always, thanks for checking it out. You can get all of our socials and Twitch IDs from the description down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and thank you for checking it out. We'll see you guys later.
Mwah. Bye-bye.